So you found a sort of funny guy who makes dice on the internet and you thought about making dice yourself, but you had no idea where to start. But don't worry, that's what this video's for. It's almost like you've all been asking for it in my comments a lot. It's a really incredible hobby that is straight up addictive because you can do so many different things and make custom dice for your friends, and what's cooler than that? And despite what you might think, it's actually a pretty accessible hobby. So let's start where I started a couple months ago. Small. All that you need to start making dice is some resin, a mold, some kind of die, and some safety equipment. That's really it. Almost everything I'm going to talk about today is available pretty easily on Amazon. So I've got a big link down below where you can go and get everything that I'm talking about. I'm going to compile it all for you because I'm a great guy. We'll start out with the very first thing that you need. A dice mold. You literally cannot make dice without this. This is the most important part, honestly. And this exact mold can be found anywhere from $7.99 to $8.99, but I'm going to put a link to the one that I bought and was pretty damn happy with. But it has all 7 of your standard dice for a D20 set. Now, as a note, this is not a perfect mold. I have a few complaints about it, but it's totally great to get started. And it's been really great for making my videos, but this is not the mold that I'm going to be using to fulfill the dice that I sell on my website. Go check that out. The main issue that you're going to see pretty quickly is that the D20 in particular, that it has a little lip around the one side of the D20 that is completely impossible to avoid. You can try and sand it out, you can try to do a lot of things, but if you do, you're going to lose some number faces, especially that one. That's not a good time. But they still roll. They still roll perfectly fine. Your friends will still appreciate it as a gift. If they complain about that little lip, you need better friends. And I roll with them still. I'm very happy. The next thing you're going to need is resin. This is the thing that's going to actually become your dice. And this is one of the things that can be really hard to learn about because there are a ton of different resins out there on the market. So the one I recommend using is this, I don't even know how to say it, Poduo epoxy resin kit. It's $36.99 on Amazon. This is not the one I started with, but I think it's the proper one to get you going because it comes with a little bit more of your safety stuff that you need. It gives you mixing cups, which you absolutely need. It gives you some disposable aprons, which are also nice. It gives you gloves, a tablecloth. It gives you everything that you really need to not get this stuff everywhere. You need a 2-part epoxy because that's the easiest resin you're going to work with to make dice. But this is not the epoxy that I use, and I'll tell you why soon. The next thing you need is dye. If you watch my videos, you know I have this little sheet here. The primary 2 that we're concerned about are alcohol ink and mica powder. But if you're just going to be making your first set of dice and you don't know if this is going to be your thing, let's start with some mica powders. The reason is that mica powders are extremely easy to work with and will give you really cool results without a lot of effort. But mica powder does this sort of swirly, sparkly effect without anything at all. So all you need is it. I'm putting a link to a 24-color kit that's only $12.99 on Amazon right now. It's normally like $15 or something. And with just 3 relatively cheap items, you're ready to start making dice. Let's do the total cost real quick. Math, $60. $60 and you have begun. Now I know that sounds like a little bit for just getting started, but you're going to be able to make so many dice from just this starting point. I don't have the exact number because I'm not a very scientific person, but you'll probably be able to get a good 12 sets out of this, if not more. But you'll be set to make yourself some dice, to make your friends some dice, to make your parents some dice, and maybe your dog some dice. Why would your dog need dice? But I would recommend setting aside another $20 for a respirator. It's important to remember that you are working with chemicals. Whatever you're doing is gonna create fumes that you really don't want to get into your lungs and stuff. So really, $80 is where we're at, and you make a ton of dice. Well, like most epoxies you'll be using are this Poduo, God, I hate the title. It's a 2-part epoxy. It's a nice simple 1-to-1 ratio, so you'll take 2 cups, pour the same amount into each cup of the part A and part B, and mix them together. Now when you mix that epoxy resin, make sure you do it nice and slow, because if you do it real quick like you're whipping up eggs, you're going to introduce a ton of bubbles into your resin, and that is very bad. You don't want to do that. Bubbles are going to be a constant problem for you as you're getting started, and this is one way that you can help sort of eliminate them. It's going to be nearly impossible to do it completely, so just expect some imperfection in your first sets, and it's totally fine. It's going to be totally okay, trust me. That usually takes like 2 to 5 minutes to get that all mixed together. As you're mixing, it should go a little bit cloudy, and then it will become fully clear again, and that's how you know it's ready to go. After that, you'll start mixing in your colorant. No matter what colorant you're using, a little bit goes a long way. A single tiny scoop of mica powder does the whole job, so start small and then build up if you need more. The same goes for alcohol ink if you insist on using alcohol ink. But here's why alcohol ink gets a little squirrely. Yes, it's very easy to use. Yes, it gives you really great colors. Yes, you can do all kinds of crazy effects with it and stuff like you've seen me do over on TikTok and on here and on whatever channel you're following me on. But it is a chemical. The more that you use of the alcohol ink to get the exact color that you want, the more that the chemical reaction that's happening in your resin will take place. Most resins have a working time of around 45 minutes. It really just depends on which one you're working with, but during that 45 minutes, a lot of weird things are going to happen. Most importantly, there's an exothermic reaction that's taking place in that weird chemical bath you've made. That means it's going to start to heat up quite a lot, and the more you introduce alcohol inks to that, the quicker that exothermic reaction is going to happen. And in some cases, the alcohol ink can actually cause your dice to not cure. So that's another reason why I recommend using mica powders first. It just gives you an easier time and a higher likelihood of not totally screwing something up terribly, like I have done quite a lot. So you've mixed up your colors. Let's say you want to do 2 colors, because everyone wants to do a swirl. Then you're gonna need to wait a little bit after you've mixed up your colors. If you're just doing a single color, go ahead and pour it into your mold. Just do a nice, simple, slow, controlled pour, because if you do it really quickly, you're gonna introduce a lot of bubbles into your mold, which again, we don't want to do. We don't want bubbles. No bubbles. And if you happen to have some toothpicks lying around, go grab those things. They're more important than you know. You probably see these in my videos, specifically in this little D4 right here. In the sharpest corners of these molds, air pockets will tend to stay. And if an air pocket stays while the resin cures, you're gonna wind up with blown out corners on your dice, which is like the worst thing. That is the worst feeling. And you could use a toothpick to actually avoid that. You can pull the bubble out, you can pop the bubble down in there, whatever you gotta do. You can work around with the toothpick and get rid of a lot of those bubbles down in there. But if you wanna pour 2 colors into this thing, you have to wait a little bit until the exothermic reaction has taken place in both of your color dyes. So you want to mix them at the same time, you want to split the batch that you've mixed of resin into 2 different cups, and then dye those at roughly the same time, and then wait until they reach around 135 degrees. Just remember that. You'll be using that a ton as you make a bunch of different dice, so I might as well tell you now. I could tell you later, but it makes a lot more sense to just introduce it up front. 135 degrees is the ideal temperature for getting color separation in a swirl thing. If you mix 2 colors right away after you've mixed up your resin, and it hasn't heated up at all, you're going to wind up with one muddled mess of color in your dyes, and it's going to be very disappointing for you. So to ensure that you've got those separated colors, find a way to take the temperature of your resin. I have one of these little things that a lot of us got during COVID. I got it when I started making dice. It's a laser pointer temperature thing. You can get one of these on Amazon for $8.98. Hooray! You see how we do things on the cheap here? Or relatively cheap? And now you've poured it in. Pour some excess onto the top of the mold. Really cover up that whole surface area. That'll help you avoid bubbles and voids. Voids will form if you don't have enough resin in the actual spot where the dice is curing. It'll just look like a big pocket on the inside, and that really blows when that happens. Another thing you can do to help you along the way with not having a ton of bubbles is grab a simple lighter. Once you've got your resin poured all over this mold and stuff and you're ready to go, just wave a little lighter over it with the fire. It'll pop a lot of the bubbles that are just sitting there on top, and that'll help you out in the long run. You'll thank yourself. Once you feel good and comfortable with that, you got one more step and you're almost done. Take some more resin and pour it on top of this cap here. I mean on the side that the numbers are on, of course. A very thin layer you want to spread all the way around it. Take a toothpick, take a lighter, and get rid of all the bubbles that are still sitting on top of this cap to the best of your ability without exceeding your 45 minutes of work time. Again, it's just another measure to help you avoid bubbles, which is really, really, really hard. And once you feel comfortable that you've done the best that you can, just go ahead and slowly put that cap on top of the mold, making sure to push out the excess to the side to get the cap on there as nice and tight and level as you can. If you have something flat and somewhat weighted that you don't mind ruining to put on top of this, then I'd recommend doing that. Maybe like a stack of old magazines on a piece of wood or something. It'll help you a ton. I still do this with these molds because sometimes the caps can tend to bow out on the edges. And what'll happen is after your resin has cured, it'll leave a huge lip around the side. So as you can see on this one, there's a huge lip happening around one side of this bookmark. This was curing at a slant, and a bunch of the excess resin pooled up over the top of the actual mold part of the mold. And if that cap is not fully secured on top of your mold, that's gonna happen to your dice. I probably don't have to explain why that sucks, but don't like squish it, because that would ruin the dice too. And that's it. You've mostly done your job. Now you just have to wait for the resin to cure. This Peduo stuff is gonna take around 24 hours before you can take it out and look at what you've made. That's one of the secret ingredients of dice making, is patience, which is a thing that I struggle immensely with, but it's fine. You want to wait to get a good result. Now, I don't recommend doing this now, but the resin that I use is something called Envirotex Light. It has a 12-hour cure time, which is great for me because I make so many videos for you guys. I literally could not do making dice with this Peduo stuff because it would take me so long to make said dice. But the faster cure time means faster and weirder chemical reactions, so it's a little bit harder to work with. So don't use it until you've got more experience with it. Just accept the long cure time, please, I beg you. But after 24 hours, you'll be able to crack this thing open and take a look at what you've made. Everything that's going to be left behind around is called flashing. And if it's cured enough, you can just kind of move the mold out like that and it'll crack all around the actual dice, and you can just remove that flashing. After you've removed the flashing carefully without damaging your dice, you can then start taking your dice out of the mold to take a look at what you made. And trust me, that feeling is why you're going to keep making dice. It is so addictive. They can be a little bit hard to take out, but these are silicone molds, so you can stretch them and do whatever you need to do to get them out. Don't cut it. Don't destroy these, because you can use these for a ton of dice. They will last a good while, even if they are cheap, but they won't last forever. The more you take care of them, the longer they will last. So keep that in mind. But now you've finished that. You've got your first beautiful little set of dice, and you feel so good about yourself because you made something tangible that's kind of pretty, probably. I hope your first set is pretty. And I'll say this now, don't be disappointed by all the bubbles that are on there. It's almost a guarantee that these dice are not going to be perfect, because you don't have the tools you need to make them completely perfect. That top side especially is going to have all kinds of bubbles and things on them. But the more care you took in the making process, the less you're going to be seeing bubbles. Your friends are not going to mind a few little bubble holes on the one side of your dice. It's really not going to affect them too terribly much, and with a little bit of TLC, you can actually fix those. But you're 2 steps away from these being totally great gifts for your friends, and they might even be pretty close now. I don't know. You might be totally amazing off the jump, like I was not. Because of just the nature of dice molds and stuff and all the excess that you need to use to make them work, you're gonna have little extra bits hanging off of your dice, and those can easily be taken care of carefully with an X-Acto knife or a razor knife. Just be very extremely careful, because knives plus tiny things can tend to lead to accident. But yes, surgically cut off all those little things with a razor knife and you're almost there. It may leave some little burrs and a little bit of a lip on the edge of it, which can be taken care of in polishing. And this is probably the worst part of dice making. Now, I'm just gonna make this simple for you. There's only one thing that you should ever use to polish your dice, and that is Zona papers. I'll pull mine out. They're all cut up and weird because I use them a lot and I have a bunch of different uses for them. But Zona papers, these things. And it's a series of papers that go down in grit over time, just like a sandpaper would. You can get a kit of Zona papers on Amazon for around $15. And it'll last you quite some time, so don't worry about it. You can maybe skip the polishing if your friends don't mind your dice being a little bit raggedy, but you know. So what you'll do is you'll take these Zona papers and place them on a flat surface, something glass, or put a little bit of water on the Zona papers and just work the dice around it in circles. On the one side, whatever the face that was going up in the mold is, that's the one that you want to kind of circle around and stuff. It'll help get rid of that extra weird edge that happens because of the, the molds. And if you want to go even further and dull down all of your edges, you can do that with these Zona papers too. I like a sharp edge though. And your dice will be basically perfect. They'll go from like a matte finish all the way to like an almost glass look. If you want to go the extra mile, there's one more thing that you can do to really make these things shine. There's this stuff called plastics that people use for their headlights when they get all foggy. You just like put it on there and swirl it around and it makes them shiny again. Well, it's great for polishing dice. After you've used your Zona papers, you can apply a dab or two of this and swirl it around just like you would a headlight, and it'll make them shine just exactly like glass. It's really the final finishing thing that you want to do on all of your dice if you're a total perfectionist, which I am. You can get a bottle just like this for $17.90 on Amazon. It's a little bit expensive, but it will last you a really, really long time. You do not need to use much. Not much at all. And all you need to do that is a paper towel. So I'm sure you have paper towels lying around. I don't have to tell you to buy them. But now your dice are nice and polished and almost ready to go. The last thing you need to do is paint the numbers, or ink the numbers. I'm sorry, that's what it's called. It's called inking the numbers. But we're gonna ink the numbers by painting them. It's very silly. You don't use ink, you use paint. And for this, you can use any paint. It really just any acrylic paint, any basic paint that you can find at the hobby or craft store. It will work for inking your numbers. And all you need is any crappy paintbrush, and I just use this one relentlessly. It will die before I use it. It does not have to be nice. So all you'll do is take a paintbrush covered in paint and slather the side of your dice with it until that number is nice and full of paint, and just wipe the excess away with your finger and wipe it away on a paper towel. And do that for every single side of your dice until you are done. And congratulations, you just inked your dice. However, there's probably a lot of excess paint left over on those things, but that is really, really easy to fix. All you need is a paper towel and a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, and you can wipe off that excess paint super fast and easy. Painting is like the easiest thing that you get to do with dice. It's so simple. But that's it! You're done! You have completed a full set of dice. Congratulations. You're now a dice maker, mostly. They're not perfect, but they're perfect enough, you know? And everything that I've told you so far is all that you need to do to make dice and make people happy around you in your circles. It's really awesome, so congratulations. And we did it pretty cheap, right? But now, it's time to level up. If you've used your mica powders and stuff and you're happy, you can go ahead and buy some alcohol inks if you want. There's all kinds of crazy techniques out there that you can try. I will make a video on how to do each and every one of these things. I should probably tell you a good alcohol ink kit, right? The one that's in my list is $21.99 and it has 40 different colors, which is great. You can do a lot of stuff with that. There's some that you can find that have less colors for a little bit cheaper, but I really like to get the most bang for my buck, so I'm just gonna put that one down there. There's one alcohol ink you absolutely have to buy. You won't be able to do a lot of this other stuff if you don't have it. It's Pinata Blanco Blanco. It's just a white, but you need white for a few reasons. If you want to use alcohol inks to make opaque colors, you're gonna need white to make that happen. If you want to do Petri pours, you're gonna need this one specifically to make that happen. But once you feel comfortable with all these techniques and you feel like you want to move a little bit beyond making stuff with your friends, and if you're just so deeply frustrated with constantly getting bubbles in your dice and ruining them and making not perfect sets and just accidentally ruining sets that were almost perfect like I was, then you're gonna have to tune into the next one.